Good morning, everyone. My name is Joanna Concepcion. I am the Executive Director of the Filipino Migrant Center, and we are a nonprofit organization serving low-income Filipino families here in the South Bay and then all throughout Southern California. So thank you all for being here. We are here today to discuss the new Assembly Bill, AB60. And how it will affect particularly Asian and Pacific Islander communities here in California and particularly in the South Bay. And we have invited representatives from organizations here in the South Bay that will talk more in depth about how this will benefit their particular communities. And I just want to highlight that this bill is a victory for all of our communities, and it has been decades long of a fight. And this victory has been possible because of the organizing that has been done by immigrant communities and immigrant rights organizations throughout California. Now, particular facts about AB60 that we would like to share with the community is that Governor Brown, when he signed AB60 into law, this means that the Department of Motor Vehicles, or as we know it, DMV, will be directed to issue driver's licenses to those undocumented immigrants. And any California resident who is eligible for a driver's license, regardless of immigrant status, can apply for this driver's license. But it cannot be, it can only be used for driving purposes and not for entering restricted areas of federal facilities. AB60 driver's licenses will be available starting January 1st, 2015. And it will cost the same as other driver's licenses, which will be $33. And only the Department of Motor Vehicles, or the DMV, can issue driver's licenses. And community members have to understand, have to be clear that you do not need to pay anybody to assist you with the application, because there are a lot of community organizations present here today, or the DMV itself has plenty of resources to assist you, and you do not need to pay for anyone. And we have to be wary of scams and rely only on the DMV and trusted community organizations for information and assistance. Now, the written test is offered in a number of different languages. And the test can be administered in an audio format or in an interview with a DMV examiner by request. And interpreters, unfortunately, are not permitted for the driving test. Now, every applicant will need documents to prove their identity, and then residency in the state of California. So at this time, it's a good idea that community members who would like to apply to begin to gather important documents, such as their consular ID, which you can get from your respective consular offices, passport, utility bills, or proof of lease agreements. And if your documents have expired, please make sure to visit your consular offices again to be able to renew, to begin the process, because it can take time. Now, another point is that the driver's license, you can use this driver's license to identify yourself to police officers in case that you are driving and you get stopped at a traffic stop. So you can use this to identify yourself. It's unlawful for businesses, landlords, government agencies, or officials, or program or activities that receive state funds to discriminate against you based on the type of license you have. Driver's license do not give you a right to vote and do not make you eligible for any benefits that you were not eligible for without the license. A driver's license does not give you the right to work also as an employee. And particularly the driver's license, when you do receive this, it will indicate that federal limits apply in the driver's license in the top right corner of the class designation. Otherwise, the license will look very similar to all other California driver's license. And two more points. The law, the AB60 law prohibits state or local government agencies, officials, or programs to discriminate. And so there will be monitoring processes to ensure that there's no discrimination that community members will face because they hold this particular driver's license. And the documents that you provide to the DMV to provide your identity, name, and residency and age are not a public record, and the DMV may not disclose this information except when requested by a law enforcement agency as part of an investigation. And in summary, so a couple steps. Step one, community members should prepare and study for the written test, which is a requirement to apply for the driver's license. Gather your important documents to prove your residency and identity, and pay any outstanding traffic fees. If you think that you have any outstanding traffic fees, please visit the DMV office closest to you and inquire about that information. Step two, make an appointment already to take the written test for the future. And currently there are already over 180,000 community members who have made appointments up to February of next year. So it's going by fast. It opened up 90 days before January 1st, which is why the seats are filling up fast. So we encourage all community members to make a reservation at several DMV offices close to you. Complete the application, present your documents, and take the written exam at your local DMV. And the last step, make a driving test appointment, bring a car with a proof of car insurance, and pass the test. And so for more information, please visit DMV website, dmv.ca.gov. And then we invite everyone to get involved in efforts to educate other community members who may qualify for this AB60 driver's license. And we encourage all of you to visit the Drive California Coalition website at driveca.org, and also local organizations that will be speaking today about AB60. Now today we have 3 community advocates that will be speaking about how AB60 will affect our Asian Pacific Islander communities here in the South Bay. So I'd like to start off with Alex. Alex Montances is a community organizer with the Filipino Migrant Center.
And good morning. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Once again, I'm with the Filipino Migrant Center, and Assembly Bill 60 will provide a big relief and a lot of help to the Filipino community. If you look at the numbers, it's estimated that there are over 4 million Filipinos in the United States. And maybe 1 out of every 4 is probably undocumented. A lot of Filipinos, at least here in Southern California, in the Los Angeles County area, live in the South Bay. Places like Carson, here in Long Beach, Cerritos, Torrance, and even just in the city of Long Beach, there are close to 30,000 Filipinos here. And if the estimate is true, with 1 out of every 4 Filipinos undocumented, there could be thousands of Filipinos, even just in the city of Long Beach, who could be eligible for AB60. And I think this is really important. We've been hearing a lot from a lot of our clients, a lot of the families who use our services and programs. A lot of them have a lot of interest in studying and in taking this driver's test with this new AB60. A lot of them are hardworking people. They work in our restaurants, in our warehouses. Some of them are domestic workers and caregivers who take care of our elderly and sick. And for them, they just want to be able to drive. They want to live a normal life. If they ever need to go to the hospital or drive a car in case of an emergency, it's important for them to be able to drive and go to where they need to go. And so this is really going to be a big help to the Filipino community and all of our immigrant communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And our next speaker is Kawen Young, and she is the Executive Director of the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Alliance.
Aloha, Bula, Hafagay, Yoakwe, and Talofa Lava. I am, as Joanna mentioned, I am with the Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Alliance, and I'd just like to give you a just figures of background figures of our community, our Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander community. According to the 2010 census, there are 1.2 million Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders living in the United States. And out of that, 24% are residents of California. And then we have 1 in 7 who are foreign-born, Pacific Islander foreign-born. Among those residents, a significant number, percentage of Pacific Islanders are immigrants and are from nations of Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga. AB60 will make it easier for hardworking Pacific Islanders to, as well as to support their families and contribute to our meaningful communities. Also to ensure that they can drive legally and safely. So, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. And our last speaker is Reverend Tagaloa, and he's a faith-based community member here in the South Bay area.
Talo Fulava. I find it that the AB60 is very, very beneficial in general to the Pacific Islanders, in whom I advocate a lot for. One reason is that my main concern is being able to hold some type of identification, giving you the authority to use our streets in driving and staying in line with the safety, because of the fact that there are some people that are undocumented. They still use our streets as drivers, but not in line with the rules and regulations of our state here in California. So it gives us the undocumented people the chance to educate themselves and be aware of how they should drive. It's no question or any doubt that we hear in the news daily that a lot of unlicensed people are harming innocent people on the streets and on the highways. But those are not their intentions, and I believe that because they lack the safety knowledge of how we should drive on our roads, it'll really alleviate a lot of these sad news that we hear daily. And I find that beneficial. Number two is giving our undocumented people the sense of being a part, a sense of holding somewhat of an identity, and living each day knowing that they're not questioned or discriminated, as mentioned earlier. So I believe that there is much more benefits that AB60 will provide for our undocumented people. So as an advocate and a faith-based member, I pray that this transition will flow well, and it's a good news already that we have stats that we're hitting February with 180,000 awaiting patiently for that opportunity to hold that driver's license. So hopefully by March we'll hit 1 million, and we'll keep that in prayer. And thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, Reverend Tagaloa. And I'd like to thank again all of our speakers for sharing their experience today. And maybe we can open it up for questions for those who are part of the media here. If you have any questions for our speakers today.
I have a question. Would you mind spelling your name, please? So I have it down.
T as in Tom, A, G, A, L, O, A. It's like spelled like Tagalog.
Almost, yeah.
Drop the G, just add the A.
So that was thinking.
And the first name is Gethsemane.
Okay.
It's biblical. Well, okay. G-E-T-H-S as in Sam, E, M-A-N-E.
M-A-N-A?
M-A-N-E.
N-E.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I did have another question
Sure.
too. With the Pacific Islanders communities, how have they, if they've come to you already about it, how have they reacted with the bill passing?
Well, as any ordinary person, this, as I said, this law, you know, it helps, especially with our Pacific Islanders, you know, being such hard workers, not that all, you know, communities are not, but being such hard workers, and they're just thankful, very feeling blessed and happy that there's an opportunity that can help in this situation, you know, this immigration, I would say per se, situation. So they're just very thankful and feeling humbled and blessed.
Would you want to answer that question?
Sure, yeah, I think many in the Filipino community are also really excited. Some of them are nervous, but also very excited about this. For example, at least for the people we've talked to in Long Beach, a lot of our Filipino undocumented immigrants who are caregivers, a lot of them are also really excited to be able to drive. Some of them work very far away, and it's hard to get to work on time by bus or by walking. For them, it's a matter of survival and being able to provide for their families. And so if they can drive safely, they can get to work on time. They can even drive their patients if they're caregivers, and they take care of the sick or the elderly. It really is, like I heard one caregiver say, they just want to live like normal people here in America and be able to travel freely as well.
I'd like just to add to that, lastly, is they feel just overwhelmed having that authorization and the provision to drive, where they're no longer questioning their legal status of driving without any license. And with assurance from this bill, AB60, is that it's not according to their immigration status. It's just a provision to drive with authorizations being licensed. That's what just brings a big smile, and they're so gung-ho, you know, so.
Maybe you can also share for each organization what maybe services that you will be, or assistance, the kind of assistance you'll be providing to your community members to assist them in applying for their driver's license or any preparations, that so that community members can know that I can go to your organization for that help.
Yeah, I can begin.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the Filipino Migrant Center, of course, we're doing a lot of educational forums and workshops about AB60 and eligibility, just like this one, really just trying to educate the Filipino and other immigrant communities about AB60. But then also, we plan to start study sessions for Filipinos who want to study for the written test. And so we already have several community members who are interested in going to the Filipino Migrant Center and studying together the driver's license handbook. And so in the next coming months, we'll be holding regular study classes.
For our Pacific Islander community, we are holding meetings as well as PI community forum. We have our first one in Orange County, so We will be having another one in, as well in, the South Bay area, the South Bay area. And, you know, as a domino effect, you know, we always try, wherever we have our forums, we try to ensure that it's also taken up north to the Bay Area as well as Sacramento, and farther south to San Diego and Oceanside. So, in addition to the AB60, you know, that we're promoting, and we are also working on, we also incorporate the new executive action, which is also important for our communities, for the DACA and the DAPA, which is also important, you know, because this gives, you know, parental accountability for the undocumented parents that are here and have, you know, children that are US born or LPRs, legal permanent residents. So yes, we will be holding those forums and meetings. And the most important part is the in-language materials that we've also, that our Reverend here was kind enough to translate for us. So we have that, and that's helpful for our communities. And in terms of, you know, and providing, you know, assistance regarding the test, because that's important too. The written test, as well as, you know, ensuring the driving test, you know, that they have it tapped down.
Does anybody else have any last questions? Seth?
Could any of you comment on how this would benefit the community members that did not qualify for the executive action, and how AB60 might affect them?
How it would benefit? Well, basically, bottom line, they're able to obtain a legal license, you know, as well as obtaining that license, as Alex had mentioned, you know, they're able to travel and, most importantly, provide for their families, you know, because in our communities, like the Filipino communities, we are large in families, you know, so, and it's always, you know, trying to provide, put food on the table, shelter over their heads, and means of transportation to, you know, for the family, for children in school, and so forth and so forth. But yes, it helps, benefits them in, so that they can have, you know, means of providing for their families.
I think also is how the AB60 was written up. There's more, it's more, complete, understood as far as what the license contains and your, the limits of the usage of the AB60 license. So I think it's, that's what we need to do on our side, is to educate our people the contents of using this license. Not only just receive the provision of driving, but the contents and understanding.
And you know, President Obama's executive action was really also a huge victory for all immigrant communities. 5 million people will be provided some form of relief, but that also means that there's at least 6 million other undocumented immigrants throughout the U.S. who are not provided relief, who are still afraid to come out of the shadows, who are still afraid to go out on the street, still afraid to live normal lives. But what AB60 is doing in California at least provides a few of those folks who are living in California with some type of relief. It may not be relief from deportation, but at least relief when they go drive in their cars and they pick up their children from school or drive to work. And I think all of our communities, the Pacific Islander communities, Filipinos, and other Asian communities are still going to continue to push alongside other immigrant communities to make sure there is relief for all 11 million undocumented immigrants. It's still a fight that all of us still want to push for.
I'd like to add one more thing, and maybe it's not just including the state of California. However, I know for the Pacific Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islander communities, you know, from other states, they reach out, or I've received comments, oh, California's always the model state to duplicate, you know, because even when I sent out press releases regarding our press conference, I've received from Arizona, Utah, wow, Kelvin, you folks are having now, what a wonderful state. Well, move to California. You know, so it's you know, you have eyes coming from other states that are also, you know, hoping that will, you know, occur in their state as well. So, yay for California.
I do want to add, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the Filipino Migrant Center on December 14th is actually having a community forum on President Obama's executive action on immigration. It's this coming Sunday, December 14th, at the West Side Facilities Center, which is on Santa Fe Avenue in Admiral Kidd Park. So it'll be at 1:30 p.m. there, and really open to the Filipino community and other people who are interested in learning about this executive action and who will actually be able to get relief. So we'll have an immigration lawyer there as well as other immigration experts to answer as many questions as we can and really just inform our communities about our rights.
I agree with Alex. Even within the Pacific Islander communities, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander communities, we will also, the Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Alliance will be hosting, as well as the Pacific Islander Health Partnership in Orange County, our Pacific Islander Community Forum on the new executive action and what it means to you. You know, so we will be holding one here, and as I mentioned, we try to ensure that each of our big counties are included because, you know, wherever in the whole state of California, as well as the Filipino Migrant Center wants to ensure that all of our communities are well served and educated.
And if there are no other questions? I actually had one last question. It's regarding, I know, Kawan, you mentioned the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, and when it was passed 2 years ago, when there were statistics and reports that were released in terms of the numbers of Asian and Pacific Islanders who qualified and those who, versus the ones who actually applied for the Deferred Action, the DACA. And the numbers, particularly for the Filipino community, were very low. I believe it was under 12%. And so how do we, how do we work together as community organizations to ensure that those who are eligible to apply for driver's license will come out and take advantage of that benefit, and maybe a message that you can send to our community members out there who may feel anxiety or fear or nervousness about this, because I know we all know that this is a really great opportunity for them to apply, but there may be still misinformation going on or fears that I think we still need to address as a API community. Any last maybe thoughts?
AB60 as well as the new executive action, please take advantage of these opportunities. I know it can be fearful, but Oh, well, but if you don't take care of this opportunity, then you will not be able to expand on what you can do in the community as well as in your especially your families. So please seek help from any of the organizations for Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders, especially with the Pacific Islanders. You can contact myself at 310-766-3196, and I will be as most helpful as I can. And if I don't have your answer, I will ensure you will get an answer, or direct you to who can help you. Thank you.
Again, I'd like to reiterate my response to the question. I honestly believe that this is part of our mission to press forward this new AB60. Like I said, the bill is complete. There's no backstage. There's nothing hiding behind it. I think we have to assure our community people that because they are coming and they are asking questions because of their insecurity. But see, this is where we need to assure them that it's for real. It's for real. It's a provision. It's a sense of rights. So this how I would do it is I would have other people that when they get their AB60, they went through it. So that, it's like Thomas in the Bible, I won't believe until I see him or I touch Jesus that he is risen. It's the same thing as our people. So when they really actually see it implemented, we'll see our numbers grow. Percentages may just blow up and take to the advantage because we don't know how long this bill will stay. We're hoping that it will stay across the board, but California has implemented it, it's passed, and we're hoping that it will go across the nation as well.
Thank you, Reverend. And Alex.
I agree. I think for the Filipino Migrant Center and for all of our organizations and churches and communities, our doors are open. We welcome undocumented immigrants who are part of this country to come to our doors and ask us as many questions as possible, and we can tell you what we know and how you can apply for these benefits. It's true, we don't really know how long these laws may be set in place. We have to be vigilant also as communities to continue to fight for our rights as immigrants, undocumented or documented, and also push for more better laws that really secure our rights here in America. And so, yeah, our doors are open to you. Feel free to come and ask us questions at the Filipino Migrant Center or with any of our partners.
Thank you, Alex, Cowan, and Reverend, for speaking today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
And if folks want to have individual